Please don't be loud. Please don't be loud. You're almost certainly going to be loud. Please enter the current time. Hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock at 12 and call it a day. But you actually taking the time to set the clock. And I appreciate that. You're welcome. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I'm being praised. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. That was a very honest time. It is 2 past 11 a.m. I'll make you a deal. Interesting. So cooperative. Next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever you want. Even if it's not correct time. You've earned it. Alright, back to the video game now. You know what? If I had to pick a favorite time of the day, it's 5 p.m. Because that is late enough to eat dinner, drink, and usually I'm out of when I was working office jobs and stuff, you are usually out of the office by that point in time. So to me, 5 p.m. has always been my favorite time of day. And usually you have at least one more hour before all the shops close. New mattress today will take a bit to adjust. That's both good and, like, exhausting. But yeah, I'd say 5 p.m. is my favorite time of the day because, like, you've usually got... Most places close at 6 where I live. Like, 6 p.m. is usually the closing time. So you've usually got an hour to hit the stores. It's late enough to... Most food places are open for dinner time because most people... Most open for dinner places usually open around 3, 4 o'clock. 5 at the latest to do dinner. So... 5 p.m. It's like everything is either going to close in an hour or is just opening. And you're usually off work by that point. Oh no, Dingo's coming for our bucket chat. I don't know what the bucket is! Also, I am slightly pissed off at Uber Eats. I asked for half a gallon of milk. I got said half a gallon of milk that was already open and expired by a fucking week. Oh, Jesus. I will do a little bit of devil advocate. That's not Uber Eats' responsibility. Remember, they don't pack the bags. They just send the driver to pick it up. So, you should... send a lot of that ire to the actual business that sent you expired milk. It's kind of like getting mad at the postal service for when you get sent the incorrect item. They're just handing you what they were given. Yes. Sorry I'm a little late to this one. Had important updates that were coming in. We officially have Tiny Tessa and Smolin again. They will be They will be implemented shortly. I am very excited. Oh shit, I haven't got that set up. Thank you, darling. Of the rigged variety. I'm a little bit of a... I wouldn't have... Tipping is so difficult for me as an Australian because that is not the norm here. Also, rigged variety is still art. Look, I'm saying this model will be able to chibify soon. Begin the game. Settings. Alright. I know the narrator's going to start talking as soon as I select start game, so I wanted to see if there's anything else I wanted to say. So yes, we will have Smolin and Tiny Tessa back in action very, very soon, and I'm super excited. Instead of being a gremlin, you'll be an imp. New. I will be back to normal. It's part of the, it's part of the reversal ritual. Is to regain all of my other transformation skills. I'm stuck like this. I can't do any kind of transformation skills right now. I can't turn into my Tiny Tessa form. I can't turn into anyone else. My transformation skills, or my polymorph skills, or my body swap skills are all locked with this curse. I shall be freed soon. With the exception of Fallen's current rig, because we're linked because of law reasons. It's a thing. Soon we will have updated law that says the wizard cat was unable to reverse the transformation and she's now going to be demon dingo. No! No, 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 no. These objectively... Wait a minute. Was this screen always red, or is it just doing this to fuck with me? Like, I'm just realizing, like, I am a very red avatar on a very red background. Have we learned a lesson from all this? Don't touch the shiny book? No, I have learned a different lesson that is equally important. Always take a holy magic user with you when you are going to touch shiny books. And halfway across the world, Fallen has a sneezing fit. Is this just fucking with me? Asked while playing the Stanley Parable. Look, I would not put it past this game. I would not put it past this game to have some kind of fuckery like that. It was blue. Oh god. Alright. We should begin. But I do... Do I set... Do I set a Ko-fi goal? I have an image. I have an image. A spoiler for Smolin and Tiny Tessa. And I'm wondering what I should offer for that one. What I should ask for, more to the point. The end is never, the end is never, the end is loading. Oh god.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Uh-huh.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Quit the game, then start it again. Okay, so yeah, I've already played this once before. Okay, I must do it.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No.
I need to turn the mouse
This couldn't go
sensitivity down.
anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait.
Let me turn my mouse settings down. Field of view, I'm going to turn that up to 75. Camera sensitivity. Yeah, let's bring that down.
Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me.
That's better.
In here I can be happy forever.
Forever.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes. But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
Oh, now I've locked myself
He
into
had never
it.
been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing
If
will
I
hurt
keep
me.
doing this, is he going to
Nothing
say
will
something
break
different,
me.
I wonder?
In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers
You
would
know,
come.
for how little this desk
Eventually,
is used,
someday, they would
this
arrive.
looks really weathered.
Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Get well
Stanley decided
someday.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I hate Mondays. No one, Dad. Okay. Why am I obsessing over the coffee mugs? Wait. I like work. I just hate my boss. That seems like a bit antagonistic to have on your desk. Be my Valentine. Ooh. Hmm. Yeah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Come on. Alright.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here,
Give me
drinking
the
it all
soda.
in.
I want soda. Actually,
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
it's worth it just for the disdain in your voice, mate. Oh, shit.
At this point, Stanley's obsession
was
with
my
this
phone.
room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Don't judge my architecture fetish.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Sorry, dropped my phone. That seems like a really... That seems like way too small a coffee machine for this kind of an office. That's a household unit. All right.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Bye-bye.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it is moving. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of car. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
Whoops, I didn't do that on
In
purpose!
his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do.
That was not me in
Stanley leapt
control.
from the
That was me being
platform
dumb.
and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I didn't do that on purpose. I got too close to the edge while waiting to get to the... I didn't do that on purpose, okay? No, don't clip it! God damn... Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Skirting by the new content. Bye-bye.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Zoom, zoom,
Perhaps he wanted to stop
zoom,
by the
zoom,
employee
zoom,
lounge
zoom.
first, just to admire it.
Zoom, 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 zoom,
Wow.
zoom, zoom.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ooh. I saw this while I was trying to do the normal thing.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Alright. Well, there's an exit point there. Okay, where the fudge am I?
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you?
Oh, thank
Silly
God.
and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in
No,
pure
I
shock
don't.
at the phenomenal and
Completely
intricate
opposite. I am glad you are
storytelling.
sassing
It
me.
must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault. A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
There was rainfall? That's a mean kind of teasing, narrator.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Going
and
back to
Stanley
the,
knew it perfectly well.
Going back to
Perhaps
the
he
lift
wanted
and
to
doing what I
stop by the
originally wanted to
employee
do
lounge
because
first, just to admire it.
I'm not
The
going to get
lounge was
distracted
sublime,
again.
a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No.
The
Stanley
blue coffee
knew
mug. I want
it
it.
was something deep, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at
You
following
what?
directions, it's
Wait,
incredible he
what?
wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Uh-huh. Look, annoying the narrator is my only purpose in life in this game. Danger everywhere. No buckets past this point? Excuse you? Does that mean I could have had a bucket at this point?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I like the mini stand, personally, but it's fine. Because it stands on its own, and it's of Stanley. It's a mini stand. Which door was I supposed to go through? Can I trigger that, I wasn't paying attention. Narrator? I got distracted by a shiny... Which door did you want me to go through so I can go through the opposite? Narrator? He wanted you to go through the blue door. Blue? Hi. Which one did he want me to go through? Chat! Why? Well, I'm trying to be contrarian, so let's go with the biggest contrarian's primary color. Blue for Fallen.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh no.
I'm going to be tormented by chat all stream, aren't I? Bloop.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
I didn't turn around to find it. I thought I was just looking around the room.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success. So I'm in aperture
You see?
science.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Let me out, 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 let me out.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh no.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
It didn't make me feel motivated to walk through doors, but it made you motivated to giggle. So a 2.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't
Can we
mind
get
taking a
something
look at
other
it,
than
would
this
you?
garish
Perfect.
orange?
Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game. All about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I'm envious.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
The latter.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Firewatch?
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more.
Why is there
Come, let's venture outward and see what else
bleach
is
on
out there.
the hot plate of... That's a death sentence. Am I not the only one who's looking at that and going, the second that heats up, that's going to fill this entire fucking cabin with chlorine gas? Like evaporated chlorine. Or bleach or whatever else. Like, that seems like a really bad idea. Oh! It's a Coleman. I think I want to stay in the better game. Truck Alaska? I can't actually read the text, it's too blurry. Wait, is that cast iron pan off the hook slightly on purpose? Look, if you didn't think I was going to procrastinate my way through this game for hours, you are very mistaken. Propane.
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
Freedom!
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Wait, what?
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
No!
Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Hold on. What are you doing?
Ooh!
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Ooh! 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 Where am I now? Okay. What about this one? Or is it still the same? It's still the same. Okay. What is going on in that room? Ugh. All the interesting shit is happening anywhere but where I'm at. Touch, touch, touch. Touch, touch, touch. Touch.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Yes, I'll be back. There's no
You want to
other
get your
way.
hand off your dick, mate?
Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Can you imagine the commentary if they added a verbal poker catcher games in this game? I mean, technically didn't Rocket League have a few of those? Like, it wasn't the focus of it, but it had, I believe, gacha elements. It was a mobile game. One moment. Lunch is ordered.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is that supposed to convince me to go to the meeting room? Return to the Stanley Parable 2 Expo Hall. Alright. I am supposed to be looking for the bucket. Loot boxes are a form of gacha. They are literally what Gachapon is all based off
Stanley,
of.
I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Why is there a printer manual on the floor but no sign of a printer?
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Blech. Don't like it. How did you manage to make this place feel gaudy yet cheap? And then I kind of answered my own question by looking at this and realizing it's all knockoff IKEA furniture. Like, not even IKEA furniture, knockoff IKEA furniture. Talk to before I've had my sequel. 1 + 1 is 2 - 1 is... What the fuck? Different ways to say two. Mm. This place makes me far more uncomfortable than the original.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Who took the red marker? Me! Why did that make me laugh? Alright. Okay.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Oh. Reassurance bucket? Is that the bucket everyone... Oh, merch. I unironically want the blue t-shirt. This t-shirt is the best new feature. I unironically want that blue t-shirt. Because you would do that, Dingo. What? What do you mean? The t-shirt contains the best feature of the Dingo. Hmm? Collectibles. Okay, I should go figure out what this thing is. It's an unholy deity. Why am I now afraid of a bucket?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and
That
perhaps
sounded heavy.
comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? The bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
No. Oh my god, did you lock the door? Am I stuck in the room with a bucket? Sir, I do not wish to touch the bucket.
Oh no.
Larry! I don't want to touch the bucket. Don't want to touch the bucket. Touching bucket is bad. Bucket is not good. Bucket is bad. It's a placebo. Possibly with really bad side effects. It looks cheap. It looks rusty. We had tetanus off this fucking thing. Oh, the handle's rotten. The handle is legitimately rotten. Bucket versus plow fight. Plow wins. Is there no way out? Wait, I see a door. God damn it. I recognize that it doesn't hold a candle to the greatness of the plow, but you take what you can get. It's true.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact,
What the fuck
can I
was
say
that
that I
laugh?
do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
This thing is filthy! Can I put it down now? Why does everyone like the bucket?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
That has implications.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Fuck. Step bro, help. That's the vibe that balloon gives. That's the vibe of the balloon. Please take it away. Out of order, you've been here already. New easy achievement, go here. Free achievement. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps. It just works. It just works. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Give it to me! Dingy back alley with a creepy bucket.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Let me put the bucket down!
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
No! I guess we're going.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Whose bag is this? That's some serious I have no mouth and I must scream imagery.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Uh-huh.
Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh dear.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company
Oh god,
in a
the
big building where
balloons!
he
Why?
was employee
Why the
number
balloons? Can it go back to the other balloons,
Employee
please?
number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
They employed
Stanley
12-year-olds for some
was
reason.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see. Creepy ass balloons. No! No, 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 no. Why is it on a Roman column? Probably not even concrete, it's probably plaster. I don't want the bucket. Buddy, what? This is a Roman colonnade. Or Greco-Roman, honestly. But that's what that style is. Wait. What's the cushion made out of? The texture is unclear.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Stanley regretted all of their life's choices.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
So are we blaming the bucket now? Is the bucket responsible for everything now? Do I have no agency anymore at all? They're just going to say the bucket did it.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
No. No! I'm supposed to be annoying you! The bucket shouldn't be taking...
Truly,
the bucket should
being
not be
here with
taking
the
responsibility for
bucket was
this.
a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
You're not supposed to be happy! You're supposed to be annoyed with me!
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home. Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Why? I'm not allowed. I can't annoy him anymore. He's just gonna say it's all for the bucket.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
I don't want the
cargo lift,
bucket.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
No.
So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Ugh.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
Nope. I refuse. I will not touch that bucket. I am not touching the bucket. I am not having all of my autonomy, what little autonomy I have in this game, reduced to I did what the bucket told me to do. No, I will not take the bucket. Ah! Stop fucking with the doormats! I don't want to take the bucket. The bucket takes... Don't want the bucket! Why? Why do you guys like the bucket so much? I never said I had to like it. The stream is the bucket. Cool, then we can just sit here looking at the bucket and all of you will be satisfied, right? That's how this game works, right? There it is, lovely on its little velvet cushion. Far more comfortable than if I was lugging it around this insane asylum. Right, so we're just gonna sit here and stare at the bucket. Really? Fucking really? Bucket model. How do you suppose that would even work? How do you suppose that would even work? How does this get turned into a goddamn VTube model? No, that's not a bucket model. That's just my model holding a bucket. No, that is literally what you just described. Pick it up, you know you want to. I don't want to pick up the bucket. I don't want to pick up the bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
meeting room. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Nearby a fireplace, a private but smelly place for an important person. There must be a point. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want to go home. There will be cleaning. Is required. Trust the completionist instincts? Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This invites into this room. They feel pointless, to be honest. To whom it may concern, I managed to pick up. You. It's fine. Yes!
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley,
take the
I never
bucket!
liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never.
Give
Go
me the
on,
wrench.
Stanley.
I want to trade it
Lay
for the
into it.
wrench.
Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket. As they
No,
have
I don't like
evolved
the
over
bucket. I would
years.
like to hand the bucket
There
over
you
to the
have
broom
it.
closet, actually.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Rude! I don't want my name on this rust piece.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this
What
sticker
the
and say to yourself,
fuck?
ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be
Shut
honest,
up, it's a
I'm
bad
sick of the
bucket. It's
pettiness
not
on
my
display.
bucket. I don't want
you
the
can
bucket.
stay here all you like, but I've had it
There
with
are
this
many buckets like
impetulant
it. This
room
one is
of
yours.
cleaning supplies.
No, it's Stanley.
Easily
It
the most
says right there,
childish such room
Stanley.
I've ever
It does
been
not
in.
say
I'll
property
see
of
you
Dingo. It says property
outside,
of
and we
Stanley.
can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Psst. Can you take the bucket? Can I just put it down? Can I just put the bucket down? Just take the bucket, take the bucket, take the bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Put me down! Really?
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I like the mini stand. I got brought food. No, I will not share it with the bucket. Oh, I think the bucket wants you to play a certain game now? What do you mean? What is this? It would cost $33 to ship that to Australia. I was about to say, if someone sends me a goddamn bucket as a gag to my P.O. box, I'm gonna lose my shit. But at that shipping cost, I'm safe. Woo!
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
You fuckers are not mailing me a goddamn bucket. Listen, clearly none of you are going to listen to reason, so I'm just going to not. I'm just going to find a way to put this stupid Why can I not put it down? Where is the put down bucket button? You will not send me a bucket. Ooh. The bucket does not want to be put down. I wish to put down the bucket. Where's the strategy? What the fuck? I think I noticed that one.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Really?
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
We can make the bucket. Good luck with that.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The bucket, huh? Motherfucker. If you idiots send me a bucket, I will send you photos of the bucket being destroyed by the tiny one. If I am sent a bucket, it will be a sacrifice on the altar of the tiny one's destructive path. I can think of no crueler of fate.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
What was I doing before I was hunting for the figurines? She will send pictures of the bucket, which means she cares about the bucket. No, I have intrinsic care for the investment of both time and money of you guys going through the lengths of sending me a bucket. Regardless of how stupid I may think it is. It's like when your friends talk about their passion projects and you kind of like, I'm not interested, but I care that you care, so I will attempt to comprehend what you're talking about. Ugh. Actually, I do need to do a, Geronimo! Oh, okay. It is actually a... Look like a dead drop. I'm gonna have to... I think I'll do it tonight, actually. I'm gonna go through my throne.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
I'm gonna go through my
It
throne.
would be all Stanley
Clear
could
out
do
some
to
stuff
keep himself
that
together,
probably
if
doesn't need
not
to
for
be
the
there.
bucket. Soothing
And
him,
fill it with
comforting
full of
him,
things for the tiny one, if I'm
reassuring that
honest.
in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I was gonna do 6 hours of stirring Kagura, but bucket sounds better. No! No! No
Stanley
bucket!
and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
No commentary? Look, you don't reward me walking back with at least a little bit of snappy commentary, I'm going to just jump down the hole.
But of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
Thank you, bye!
Nope, it's death for Stanley and the bucket.
I do not... I feel like I'm that Facebook meme of where you set your relationship status to it's complicated. With that fucking game.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Hare?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
Oh
It's
my
true that all
god,
buckets are radiant in
no!
their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
I don't know how you're blowing something that doesn't have genitals this hard. The bucket will forever be remembered by the dingo. No! Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, I just realized something. Thank God I was never a Homestuck fan. Okay, that existential crisis is over. Let's moving on. If you know, you know. If you don't, thank your lucky stars.
Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own. Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Yay! The bucket is gone. I am free. A bucket that set nations to war, huh? Cave paintings about the bucket, huh? What the hell? Why? The stress bucket. Wait, is the stress bucket just a really bad implementation of a worry stone? Does anyone in chat know what a worry stone is? I know what a weather rock is, but not a worry stone. Worry stone is probably the precursor to fidget toys, honestly, and what they actually do. But it's literally just a smooth, flat stone that you typically kept in your pocket, and you kind of just fiddled with it. The idea being that you would worry, as in rub or fiddle with the stone and put your stress into it. And usually it was made of some kind of prettier rock or crystal or quartz. And the idea was you'd put your worries in the stone. In reality, like I said, it's a precursor to the current age of fidget toys. It was literally something for you to fiddle with to ease anxiety and stress a little bit. I think I need one. They're a thing. Get one made out of your favorite precious, semi-precious stone. I had an amethyst one. It was really nice.
As this one, it is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Maybe I'll lose some of my white hairs. I don't want you, but that's the only way to progress. Bye. That was more unnerving than actually falling. I feel that fiddling with something in your pants pocket. I said you kept it in your pocket. Most people kept them in jacket pockets or hoodie pockets and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be your pants pocket. Also, if someone asks you what you're fiddling with your pocket, just take the stone out and show them.
Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Like I said, a worry stone is not a new concept.
Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander.
What the hell am I listening to? Okay.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
It doesn't involve the bucket, so I'll do it. What the hell is this space? Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. God! Bucket! 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 Uh-huh! Bucket! Saren Kagura, 1 hour. Bucket doesn't like your statements towards it. Bucket's gonna be used as a chamber pot if it gets this up. Wait. Hey, look, it's Greco-Roman thing the bucket was singing on. But no bucket! No bucket, no bucket. Nah.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Good God. Oh, good God, no! You guys can see that, right? Oh, Jesus Christ. Ah. 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 Ah.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
It was in the red and blue doors, but I'm going to go in the other one.
No. Under the stairs was the 4th place you found a Figanley, not the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If under the stairs feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments? Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Nope. Let me out.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the boss's bathroom. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Eh? Oh my God, I'm having so many fucking flashbacks to goddamn school fucking presentations where they made you use goddamn PowerPoint. Oh God! PowerPoint presentation clip art. Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
Takes you back, doesn't it?
It took me back, alright, but not for what you were on
I
about.
wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Jesus fucking Christ. You know what the worst part is? To get that feeling so accurate to the bullshit you used to do at school, that probably took forever to actually make.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here behind the boss's office. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
I don't like this. You are in the present. The past.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone. No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
I don't wanna.
Okay, yes, the back of the boss's office. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
Can I get out? Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
There was no reward, but there certainly was a punishment. Wait, I can go this way, can't I? Huh? Oh.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh,
Jesus
I want more
Christ, that is
Stanley. I wanna keep
creepy.
going. What else is there? What came before this? Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Oh, honey, I think you need therapy.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Really?
And before everything else, there was your office.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Honey?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling this story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. What on earth is going to happen at the end of this?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I can never go the other way with that door. It
Stanley
feels
felt
wrong.
lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a woman? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love?
That is still too...
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit
It
looking
means
at
no
these
one's going
chairs
to
and some
judge me
paintings.
for jury-rigging the
Really
pop
worth it.
machine.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Bye-bye!
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No, 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 no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Wait, didn't you say you were going to get rid of me?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Didn't you say you were going to get rid
the
of
meeting
me?
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
God damn it, T-Train, now the song's stuck in my head.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Well, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Aha. Oh, God. Oh, no. No, I don't like this. Huh?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Uh-huh. Oh, spilled coffee.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
That sounds ominous.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Cool.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay?
Rude.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh no.
right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Da, 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 da.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Can I have my music back now, please? Okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Dun, dun, dun,
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
You mean what I've been doing this entire time?
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be,
Something
Stanley.
that stops giving me
I'm
corridor
ready for
shooter nausea would be nice.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Hi, Line. I like the line. Aw, bye, Line.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
Okay, I have to
And
stop
since
doing
the
that or
answer
I'm
is
going to make
clearly
myself
yes,
sick.
then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
The confusion
Hold up,
ending.
what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Restart.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
That startled me. Buttons! Buttons! Push all the buttons, push all the buttons, push, 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 buttons, buttons. Push the button, push the button, push the button. Button, 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 button. Button. Wait. I need to use the bathroom. How do I leave? How do I leave? But pretty colorful buttons, I know! pushed all the correct buttons and now I have infinite buttons. But also glaring white. Begin the game again. Oh, I can return to button heaven anytime I want. Okay.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
I hear rain. I can hear water.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I don't want bucket. I don't want the bucket. No. No bucket. You don't want to make the bucket angry, do you? What is it gonna do? It's a bucket! With really tacky stickers. Your stickers look stupid and shouldn't have been put over the ridging. But I suppose if the bucket's here, that means that the actual storyline has reset.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Fine, let's take the bucket with us.
The
Why not?
confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
This is gonna piss off the female narrator, ain't it? Alright. I picked up the bucket. I
Stanley
guess I'll
clutched
be
the
an
bucket tightly
obedient
to his
little
chest
person.
and entered the door on his left.
There's rain outside. I can hear raindrops. Let me out.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Did you just call me a good doggo?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close,
yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
So I could go to button heaven.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
No, no, no. I don't. No. I refuse. You saw what happened to me last time I touched the bucket. I went totally bat-crap crazy. Guys, touching the bucket literally drove me insane last time. Let's be honest here, Tess. Huh? There is no sanity in this Twitch channel. There is sanity. I am sane. No. Touching that bucket is insanity. Horse hockey. Of course you're sane. Now take your meds. Ow! Bleh. No. Not gonna take the bucket. Ooh! I'm not even gonna let you guys look at the bucket. Just a little bit. There we go. Let me just get comfy. There! Now you can't even see the bucket. The bucket is here, I swear it, Jim. Nope, you don't even get to look at the bucket. Well, I guess I have to settle for staring at Tess for the remainder of Dream O'Dawn. Hey! No, you don't get to look at the bucket. No looking at the bucket. No, you don't get to look at the bucket. No looking at the bucket. No. Hey! You're just obsessed with that bucket, aren't you? Hey! Hey! Put me down! Put me down! It's just a dumb bucket! Why? It's a stupid bucket. It's a rusty-ass, worthless bucket. Can I sneak past the bucket? I've never tried to leave the room without taking it. No! Imagine the world with no bucket. I can easily imagine a world with no bucket. I lived in that world all the time. A bucketless world is a wonderful world. I have no need for buckets. I have no need of buckets. Let's see. Can I leave the room without my bucket and the narrator not yell at me? I can. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free! No! 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 I am not taking the bucket! It literally killed me last time! It literally resulted in my untimely demise! Why would I take the bucket? I reset. That's not the same as living. In this game it is. Bull. Okay. If I step any further, the door's gonna close. What are you guys gonna do to me if I go for a loop without the bucket? Is having the bucket worth... Oh, no. Nope, nope, nope. No bucket. I can make choices without the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
What?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your
I'm bleeding
coworkers
in
have
the break
mysteriously
room.
vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
The way you said the word her makes me want
This
to
is it,
slap you on
Stanley.
principle.
Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Nope.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yes, oh, fuck. I should have taken the complicated phone call with the ex. Alright, fuck. Yeah, we'll do that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Ignore the
decided
bucket,
to go to
ignore
the
the bucket,
meeting room.
ignore the bucket,
Perhaps
ignore
he
the
had
bucket.
simply missed a memo.
Ignore the bucket. Ignore the bucket. Shut up.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
I want the broom. We need more stickers.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the
It's
bucket's
2,
warmth
5,
and guiding light
3
pierce
maybe?
the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
Oh.
It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
God.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
How convenient.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Jesus.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Isn't that its job for me? You ain't even worth what they put on the fucking tin, mate.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
The bucket comforts us as we comfort the bucket. No. No.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Yeah, I don't see how
For he
pushing
and
the
the
off button
bucket
does
would
cheese that.
dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Oh my god, too fucking real. No, the bucket is not joining the plow.
When at last they came, Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy.
No!
Freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the
I will
evil
not
mind
praise
control
them!
machine. Freedom was now mere moments away.
I will not
Excitedly,
praise
the two of them
them.
began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together.
I want to
with one
sneeze
another
in
to
every
lean on,
country?
to trust, to support.
So you want to be a plague rat?
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
You stay. I'll go. I'm leaving without the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
No, I am
stunned
not
to
a priest
discover
of the
not an
bucket.
indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh, don't you dare, you cunt.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Thank you.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Bucket never trolled
Stanley's
us.
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind
Dinger
control
even has a
facility,
theme song
it was
for
too
the
horrible
bucket.
to believe it
Wait,
couldn't
what?
be true.
It's just
Had
no, it's
Stanley
the
really been
Adventure
under
Line
someone's
theme song. It
control
doesn't
all this
belong to the
time?
bucket. It
Was
belongs
this
to
the
the
only reason
Adventure
he was
Line.
happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
was the theme song of the
No.
Adventure line
He
from the
refused
original
to
Stanley
believe it.
Parable.
He couldn't
Before the
accept
stupid
it.
sequel
His
with its
own life
stupid,
in
useless
someone
bucket.
else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
It's Mary
wasn't
Sue.
it? Was it even
OC, do
possible?
not steal
Had he
fucking
truly spent his
bucket.
entire life utterly blind to the world?
I am not a bucket priestess!
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's
How is the
command.
bucket gonna fuck me over this
Freedom
time?
was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go,
They
what to
do
do,
accept Plow
or how to
Priestess.
feel. Whatever life
I've
he
conceded
lives,
to that
it
one,
will
but I
be
am not a
his.
bucket priestess.
And that was all he needed to know.
I do
It
not
was
acknowledge that
perhaps the only
wannabe
thing
chamber
worth
pot as
knowing.
anything other than an OC
Stanley stepped through
obstruction.
the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
God damn it. I ascend. Buttons! Okay. I found the bucket. I got it dressed up in stickers. It's fucking cock-blocked me from a happy ending and forced me to walk through a museum to its supposed legendary nature. No! 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 A coffee mug is not a bucket! A coffee mug is not a bucket! No. Coffee mugs are not buckets. Alright. I have a far better time for it. See you all tomorrow. Diana! What? No! Why? There we go. Bye-bye. I am not a bucket priestess!